Yes. Go! Wait! Okay! A one! A two!
Iowa Public Television Sports presents the Boys High School Football Championship. Live from the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa. It's the Class A title game between the Schleswig Hawks and the Lone Tree Lions. Good afternoon, and we welcome you to Cedar Falls, Iowa, and the campus of the University of Northern Iowa. I'm Mike Newell, along with Pat Clark and Larry Morgan. We'll have the play-by-play report of, count them, 5 high school football championship games. You came to the right place if you like high school football. And Pat Clark, welcome on board to you.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. And I'll tell you what, Mike, we're going to see 5 good football games. This isn't going to get boring, folks. I guarantee you.
I'll guarantee you it won't. In this first matchup this afternoon in Class A competition, we've got Schleswig against Lone Tree.
2 teams, I think, that really didn't know whether they'd be here or not. Lone Tree had to knock off the #1 team in the state, Lorville, in the playoffs. Schleswig had to go to triple overtime to win the semifinal game.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the Lone Tree personnel into this one. A pair of Forbes, Phil Forbes and Neil Forbes. Phil, first of all.
Well, his stats speak for himself. 1,786 yards rushing during the season. The state's leading rusher. He has 18 touchdowns. He's going to do most of the footwork for him.
And when this Forbes doesn't carry it, the other one will.
Neil Forbes, also the leading receiver. Got for 170 yards, and the leading tackler on the team. He goes both ways, 130 tackles this year.
Versatile indeed. Now let's talk a little bit about those Schleswig Hawks and Skip Eckhart, the team that he's brought in here. Another fine football team.
Well, Skip Eckhart went to school here in Northern Iowa. He has been out at Schleswig for 3 years, and their goal was to get to the state tournament this particular year. They have done it.
Let's talk about some of the top talent going for Schleswig. The Hawks in this one, the A title game. Let's talk about Kip Miller.
Well, he runs with the ball for them. He is the leading rusher. As you see, only 778 yards, less than half of what Mr. Forbes has for Lone Tree. Shows that they pass the ball more, but he has scored 8 touchdowns this year.
Here's a guy we're going to see all over the field today. Kenny Gardner, the starting quarterback.
He'll run with the football, as you can see, and he'll also throw 1,254 yards during the season. He's also the team punter. You're right, we're going to see a lot of him today.
It's going to be a great ball game as Schleswig and Lone Tree tee it up. They go after the Class A championship next on Iowa Public Television.
Next time on Austin City Limits, a special hour with Freddie Powers, Willie Nelson, and Merle Haggard. The half a man that you made of me.
Be watching Friday night at 11.
Mike Newell along with Pat Clark and Larry Morgan. We are here at the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa, and we're on hand for 5 high school championship football games. Pat, this is normally the time in the game where we give a weather report. And just be glad at this time of the year in the state of Iowa that we are indoors, 72 degrees inside here at the Unidome.
Well, you know, Michael, I talked with some of these coaches during the week, and they couldn't be happier that they are playing inside. You know as well as I do the kind of weather that some of these teams had to play in during the playoffs. It was just absolutely horrendous. Last Saturday, as you know, it was raining and there was a little bit of snow. It was icy cold. The wind was blowing up to 40 miles an hour. It was just terrible for football. In fact, the Grettinger-Schleswig semifinal game was postponed from Saturday. They play that on Monday. So, yes, they're happy to be playing here on the carpet in the Unidome.
And word up here on press row is how tired is Schleswig going to be in this one. They played Monday afternoon after that snow out of last week. And you take a look at the season records, the ledger here on the Schleswig Hawks. They are 11-0, of course. Offensively, they're putting a lot of points on the board, and they are stingy on defense. Schleswig and the Hawks, of course, into this one with number 5 state rating. And now you see Lone Tree coming out. Both these teams carrying the same colors, black and gold. Lone Tree will be the visiting team. You see their season record of 10-1. The Ledger has it, scoring just about 24 points a game. And again, Pat Clark, a stingy defensive football team.
Did you see the way they were coming onto the football field, too? They're dressed in Iowa Hawkeye colors. They come on in a swarm, much like what Hayden Fry's Hawkeyes do. Of course, they are just about 20 miles south of Iowa City in Johnson County.
The Hawkeye two-step, of course, and we're just about set for the toss, the flip of the coin at midfield. And we're just about set for football action. You see referee John Lowry directing traffic. He's out of Marion, Iowa. Robert Ferguson from Cedar Rapids will be the line judge. Also out of Cedar Rapids, the linesman James Patterson, and Bill Yeasley of Cedar Rapids will be the umpire in this one. Let's take a listen.
Step in, shake hands, introduce yourselves. Okay, you're the visitors. You will make the decision on when we flip the coin. You're going to call it. We got a heads. I have a tails. You'll call it while it's in the air. Okay, it is a heads. You've won the toss. You have the choice of receiving, kicking, or defending the goal, or you can decline the toss until the second half at this point. You'll defer, okay? You have your choice of receiving, kicking, or defending a goal. You'll receive. Which goal do you want to defend, gentlemen? Okay, let's swing around. Okay, black won the toss, deferred to the second half. White will receive. Okay, gentlemen, we know what we're going to do out here today. We want to wish you good luck in your ball game, good sportsmanship. Shake hands and let's have a good ball game. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Shake hands. Okay.
Well, you shake hands and you come out fighting is what you do. Directing traffic, John Lowry of Marion, Iowa. He, of course, will be our referee. You saw Bruce Count and Neil Forbes representing Lone Tree, and you saw Dennis Bear and Dwayne Gonnerman representing Schleswig. And the huddles are underway on the far sideline. As you see, the tournament trail coming to state right here at the Unidome. Prairie City, Lorville, and Alden falling at the hands of Lone Tree, all by decisive margins.
Mentioned that Lorville was the #1 ranked team in the state, too. And all of those playoff games, by the way, were played at Prairie City. In fact, Lone Tree has a better record at Prairie City this year than they do at home.
Wall Lake, Stanton, and Grettinger falling at the hands of Schleswig. Schleswig's tournament trail, beating Stanton in the last 2 minutes of that ball game, 15-12, and winning in 3 overtimes over Grettinger. And we're just about set for game action. Teeing it up for Schleswig, which will be wearing their road uniform, their home uniforms, I'm sorry. Black with black over gold. And you see number 85 for Schleswig getting set to tee it up. And that, of course, is Jeff Good. Deep to receive for Lone Tree, Phil Forbes and Brian West. The kick is deep, and it's to the 13-yard line. You see the exchange at the 10-yard line, out to the 20. And then the 21-yard line before he's drilled down. And it'll be 1st and 10. That was Brian Less. I'll back up on that. It was Phil Forbes, and making the stop was Cal Kastner. And we're just underway here, Pat.
I don't know if Lonnie Powers is trying to tell us anything with that handoff on the kickoff. Doesn't like to do very much as far as trick plays and all that stuff, but you might see some of that today.
Count Forbes, Les Forbes, Stebro, and Chabot in the offensive backfield. 1st and 10. The handoff goes off tackle and struggling his way to the line of scrimmage, and very little more will be running back Phil Forbes, the junior. He's stopped by Lance Clausen. Now the offensive line for the Lions from Lone Tree. Shingledecker, Lutz, Yedlick, Lorak, and Shanklin in the trenches. And it is second after a pickup of about 1.5. We'll call it second and a short 8. Battling his way to the 24-yard line on the handoff from Count. And that was Neil Forbes. Now defensively, Toit, Wig, Brawl, Bear, and Gardner working on the defensive line for the Schleswig Hawks. And 3rd down and 7 from the 24. The handoff out to the 25. The 30, the 35, and now past the 40-yard line, you're taking a look at Phil Forbes. Bringing him down was Darren Lee from the secondary. And it's enough for the 1st down. This kid can do it all.
He really can, and we're going to take a look at him again. Kaut with the handoff to him. He's going to take it outside, and you'll see him do that. Forbes will run all over the place, although he does like to go up the middle. This time he takes it outside, slips a tackle, almost steps out of bounds, comes back in, and is finally pulled down, but a nice gain and a first down.
1st and 10, the 42. Kaut over center. The handoff. And stopped dead in his tracks. Again, Phil Forbes. Kip Miller making the defensive stop for Schleswig.
We'll see more of Kip Miller this afternoon, too. He, as we mentioned before, is the leading rusher on the team for Schleswig.
Lee, Gosh, Gladdy, and Fredericks working in the defensive backfield, and Miller and Beek working as linebackers. It is 2nd and 10. Fighting for a bit of daylight and battling his way back to the line of scrimmage, but just barely, before he is stopped by Greg Schultz. Let's take a look now. That's Kaut at quarterback.
Well, they don't do this too much, but they come around the other way. Didn't find any room, and he was double tackled right there. I did think that Coach Powers expected that play to go just a little bit better.
That was Neil Forbes. It'll be 3rd and about 10 and a half. The pitch out going to Phil Forbes. He turns the corner and is met at that point by Greg Gladdy, who runs him down. And we've got a punting situation here, Pat Clark.
Well, we haven't seen the Lions put the ball up yet, and that's pretty much indicative of their stats for the season. They don't like to pass a lot, although Kaut can do the job, and he also does the job punting. He is back to do that right now.
Greg Gladdy is deep to receive. He is paired with Kenny Gardner. This is Forbes, Neil Forbes. He delivers from the 38-yard line, and they'll let it rattle around. It took a Schleswig hop, and it's 1st and 10. First time in possession now for Schleswig. So we saw the ground game of Lone Tree in the early going.
Absolutely, and we're going to be seeing that all afternoon, Michael. Now we go to the other side of the ball. We're going to see a different type of offensive game with Schleswig.
Gardner, Gosh, Miller, Gladdy, Fredericks, and Good along the front line. Donnerman, Bear, Schultz, Brawl, and Toyt. Over the ball, that's Ken Gardner. He'll pass on 1st down. Interception, Lone Tree. Gives it up. And let's see who came up with it. Apparently it is Dennis Chabel. And let's take a look here. Interception.
Kind of offense that Schleswig runs. It's a run and shoot. The quarterback comes out. Gardner lofts it up. He throws it short. Chabel manages to step right in front of the receiver, picks it off, and look where Lone Tree is at.
The intended receiver was Greg Gladdy. 1st and 10, our first turnover, the 32-yard line. Belting his way into the line for Lone Tree is Brian Less. And pretty good pickup there on 1st and 10. It'll be 2nd and about 7.5, maybe 8, right on top of the 30-yard line. You see the Lions in the huddle. Lions into this one at 10 and 1. Lonnie Powers, the head coach, of course. It is 2nd down. First man through the hole, that's Phil Forbes. And he meets a horde of tacklers. Dennis Bear leading the way.
You know, that's got to be one of the problems when you are the leading rusher in the entire state of Iowa. You can pretty much rest assured that the defense is going to key on you and nobody else, and obviously that's what Schleswig has prepared for.
Phil Forbes is a bit slow to get up, and he's just 5'9" and a $146, but he carries it all over the place. It is 3rd and 6. Got it out of the backfield. That's Neil Forbes. Inside the 15-yard line and a first down for Lone Tree. Greg Gladdy makes the stop, and boy, a picture-perfect pass for Kaut. He had to hit it right there.
Take a look at it from the end zone. There's a nice pass, and you're exactly right. He lofted it, but look at that catch. Nice catch there, and you know why he's the leading receiver on this Lone Tree football team.
1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Kaut connects. And inside the 10-yard line, Lone Tree with a 4-yard pickup.
You can tell that Phil Forbes has a great center of gravity. He almost fell to the ground, managed to put his put his hand to the floor, regained his balance, took it all the way to the 10-yard line. That's a good bit of running there.
Jim Fredericks makes the stop. Look at those numbers on Forbes. Picking up 1,611. Actually, picked up more than that. His average above 7 yards per carry. Actually, it's 1,786 he has picked up. Phil Ford's the leading ground gainer in the state of Iowa. And for those of you who usually watch instructional programming at this time, I hope you'll stay with us and enjoy Class A football action. The championship game right here between Lone Tree and Schleswig. The 1A game between Pocahontas and Center Point will follow at 4:30. We got another one tonight and 2 more tomorrow right here on Iowa Public Television. It's at the 10-yard line. It'll be second and about 5. Kaut is the quarterback. In the backfield, he has Les and Forbes. Rolling left, Kaut. And a 4-yard loss. Ken Gardner coming in from his free safety position.
A name that we'll certainly become familiar with this afternoon. He doubles, of course, as the quarterback. They did the double fake out of the snap, and Kaut just couldn't go anywhere with it. Gardner read it perfectly.
Taking a good look at Brandon Wigg. Alongside him, Dwayne Gotterman. And now a look at Bruce Kaut, senior quarterback, and we will have the flags are dropping right here. Scott Lutz in some anticipation.
I think he's as excited to get the old pigskin into the end zone as the rest of his teammates. They were at the 10-yard line a few minutes ago. They're going to find themselves all the way back at the 19 now after the penalty.
We're just underway in the Class A title game.
False start, White. 3rd down.
That's John Lowry, of course, from Marion, Iowa, with the indication just at the 6-minute mark, first quarter action. And you see Lonnie Powers. Boy, if he could wish his way to an early game touchdown. Back to pass, Kaut. Got his man. Not this time. Lance Clausen got a hand on it. The intended receiver was one Phil Forbes.
Well, that football, when he tossed it, Mr. Kaut was drawing flies with that. He lofted it up there. He gave the defensive backs actually time to set themselves, gets in front of it and bats it down. That's a nice defensive play.
I said Forbes, and it was Stebro going up for the pass. Yep. So it'll be 4th down and 14. For the first down, they have to get to the 4-yard line. We're at the 20. He turned a little too late and on down. Second possession now for the Schleswig Hawks.
Well, that was a down and out, and Kaut, as you said, Michael, just led his man a little bit too much. Some of you folks might say, well, why didn't they kick a field goal from that position? Lone Tree doesn't kick field goals. I believe they've tried one this season and missed it.
Nada with 5:41 remaining, and right to left in front of you are the Schleswig Hawks, unbeaten, 11-0. Skip Eckhart is the coach. Gardner over center. Hand off into the line, and that is Kip Miller, who belts his way past the 25 and to the 28-yard line. And there's Skip Eckhart. He and I go to the same hairdresser, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, Pat Clark.
Nice hairdo.
Dennis Woolmer makes the stop. Now you see Lonnie Powers. It is 2nd and 2. Gardner again. Over quarterback. And into the line, that's Kip Miller. He will get the first down. Second possession, as mentioned, for Schleswig. Jeremy Shanklin makes the stop.
Well, we've seen a couple of good runs by Miller there, but his forte really is defense. He goes both ways. Two-time all-conference man as a linebacker. He was even honorable mention All-State last year as a linebacker.
Wide to the right is Fredericks. Wide to the left is Good. It is 1st and 10, the 31. Motion, Rod Gosh. Here's Gardner. Dumps it off on the run. The intended receiver was Jeff Good. It'll be 2nd down. Throwing on 1st down, that may be an indication of things to come.
Well, that's true, and they'll do that a lot, too. They like to throw the football. Skip Eckhart in his bio says he likes a wide open offense, and you'll see that Gardner is the perfect man to run that type of offense.
He's a senior at 6'4" and 195, and some pretty impressive numbers. And we've got a whistle here. Yep, 2nd down. They're adjusting the markers. Wide to the left side now is Matt Saylor. Jim Fredericks again to the right, and the pro set offense. Motion right. That's Gladdy. Stacked him up right there, didn't he?
Oh, my goodness. I'd say that's hitting hard, Michael.
That was Gosh, and Kevin Dauber was the first one to him.
Let's see these white shirts come on top of the black here. Nowhere. Hello, Irene.
The loss is 3 yards. The line of scrimmage will be the 28. Schleswig has to get to the 41 for the first down. It is 3rd and 13. Gardner will set up at the 20. Gardner's down. Going high in the air. Jim Fredericks brings it down and up for the first down past the midfield stripe. And Phil Forbes makes the stop here.
Well, old Hendricks has a little stickum on his fingers. He's been a good wide receiver for a long time. Makes the catch. Of course, it was placed perfectly right on the letters, and a nice gain to about the 49-yard line of Lone Tree.
So it's 1st and 10. And you see Jim Fredericks. He's hauled in 30. 18-yard average, and that's nothing to nod at either. 1st and 10, Gardner the quarterback. Hand off to the second man through. That is Rod Gosh, who picks up a couple shy of the 45-yard line. And there we had a 1st and 10 situation where Gardner did not go to the aerial lanes.
Well, another thing that Skip Eckhart likes to do is keep the other team guessing. Everyone knows that they are going to throw the football, so the obvious thing, if you're the offense, come back and run once in a while. Wide
left is Fredericks. That's good. Going to the slot left, now in motion. Greg Gladdy. The pitch out, and this is Kip Miller. Inside the 45, inside the 40, and very near a first down.
Kind of surprising. Lone Tree had great pursuit on that. You could see the fellas moving with the football, which is, of course, what you want to do. But somehow he managed to slip his way through. Kip Miller with a nice run there.
Jeremy Shanklin and Brad Musser bring him down. And I said very near the first down. It's about a half-yard shy, so it's 3rd and by that much.
Kip Miller's nickname is Hiller.
Hiller Miller.
Hiller Miller.
Is there anything behind that nickname?
I don't know.
That we can use out in the air?
I would say I would say Killer would be better than Hiller. What does Hiller mean?
Perhaps it's a typo. Who knows? The measurement here, and you see it by about not quite a yard, but we are inside the 39-yard line with 3:03. The 40-yard line, I'm sorry, with 3:03 remaining in the first quarter. This is Class A championship football. These are the Hawks from Schleswig on the move up against the Lions from Lone Tree, and a shot of Kenny Gardner, quarterback. As Gardner goes, the Hawks go.
I think that would be safe to say. And Schleswig has never been to the state finals, folks. This is their first trip to the Unidome. They came into town yesterday. In fact, I think they were the only team in the entire state tournament that came in a day early. They came around, walked through the place yesterday, which is not a bad thing to do if it's your first time.
Fredericks to the right, Saylor to the left. 3rd down, he gets the first down. That's Kip Miller. Let's take a look.
Well, they're mixing it up, and of course on 3rd and short, you want to go for it, get that first down. Nice bowling. He was met there by one of the Lone Tree defenders, still had enough for that first down.
Darren Lee for the Schleswig Hawks is out with a bum knee. We don't know how serious it is. He wears number 13. You saw him limping off a bit earlier. Motion now to the left, and that's Gladdy. Rolling out right, Gardner. Got his man, indeed, Fredericks. Close to the first down. And again, Gardner using that rollout. And Ken Gardner, let's take a look, the 6'4" quarterback.
Well, it's really neat when you can see a quarterback that can drop back and sprint out and then find his favorite receiver like Fredericks. It's almost like the NFL. These two guys get together a lot, and it works.
And you see by inches, we are that close to the first down. Inside the 30, it'll be spotted at about the 27, right on top of the 27, it looks like. Boy, you can't get much closer than that.
I'd say not.
But don't tell that to Hayden Fry when you go for 2 points late in the game, right?
I don't want to talk about that, and I don't think he wants us to talk about it either.
2:21 remains in the first. This is Schleswig on 2nd and inches. Left side split. That's Saylor. Right side split. That's Fredericks, the top of your screen. Power I formation now splitting away. That's Rod Gosh in motion. On the counter. And I don't know if he made it. Awfully close. The handoff goes to Greg Gladdy. And you can tell that Skimp Eckhart has a well-schooled ball club. Roger Barnes makes the stop. They come out of multiple sets in the pro formation with 2 wideouts. And you're talking high school football, and there's a good look at the injured man, Darren Lee, who is on the pine with the bad leg. 3rd and inches again. Gladdy in motion. Here's Gardner. He'll tuck it in. Yep. I believe this time he got it on 3rd down and inches.
He almost ran out of room, too.
Phil Forbes again making the stop. Let's take a look at Gardner.
Well, he had nothing else on his mind except to keep that pigskin and run with it. He almost tackled behind the line of scrimmage, manages to lunge forward, and it looks like he has enough of that first. No, he doesn't.
4th and inches again. And what do you do when you're going after the Class A title? You go for it, indeed. Gardner on 4th and inches. He goes to the well, and that's Kip Miller. And I think this time, how many times am I going to say? I think this time he got it. That's how close we've been to a first down. Yes, he did.
Well, they pushed it across that time.
Neil Forbes makes the stop. Let's take a look at Kip Miller.
Didn't have to do too much, and he almost didn't get it. You saw number 34 for Lone Tree there, trying to pull him back. That was Neil Forbes.
Right side, Fredericks, and the left side, Jeff Good. 1st and 10. We're at the 26-yard line. Batted down. The intended receiver was Rod Gosh, and you saw the football philosophy there. Hang it up high enough so he could get underneath it. Phil Forbes bats it away. He got some help from his running mate in the backfield, Bruce Gout.
Good all-around athlete. Look at that leap to knock that thing down. Schleswig was going for the cookies on that play, too. They split 2 guys out to the near side, sent 1 man in motion to the near side, and they all were going for the end zone.
Gosh and Miller stacked up in the backfield. Fredericks to the right. And Saylor to the left, and you see the flags going down. Lots of football here on Iowa Public Television. Offside indication. Lone Tree draws the whistle, but we've got 5 high school championship games. We've got $1.07 remaining in 1/4 of play. And it's Lone Tree nothing, Schleswig nothing.
White. 2nd down.
Well, those are the kind of penalties that have coaches yanking on their hair. A mental mistake and nothing else, lining up offside. It cost him 5 yards.
2nd and 5. Pitch out. This is Miller. Trying to turn the corner, and he battles his way back perhaps to the line of scrimmage. And you check that pursuit out for Lone Tree. Boy, they are all over the ball.
And the bad thing about that is for Schleswig is that they had good blocking. He had some great interference in front of him. It's just that those Lone Tree guys fought through it and made the tackle.
Dennis Chabel making the stop. And now it's 3rd and 5. Good look at end zone shot from the Unidome here in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Left side, it's Saylor. To the right side, Fredericks. 3rd and 5, Gardner the quarterback. Well, they got a first down and a pair of procedure penalties. Schleswig did. And Lone Tree is proving to be its own worst enemy. 2nd penalty of the 1st quarter, and both of them procedure calls. Let's wait for the indication from John Lowry. There's Gardner.
Oh, you might see Lone Tree. There you go. A couple of heads bobbing in there. Can't do that, fellas, until they snap the football. And I'm willing to lay odds, Michael, that Skip called it.
Dead ball. Encroachment. White. 1st down.
So the ball will be spotted right on top of the 15-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. And knocking on the door is Schleswig. second man through the hole, and that is Rob Gosh, and he's stopped dead in his tracks by Roger Barnes.
Oh, I'm very, very interested in how Skip Eckhart is moving his team down the field right now. He's mixing up the plays well. I think that Lone Tree came out here thinking they were going to be passing a lot on first down. They did that a couple of times, but they're mixing it up with the run. Kip Miller's doing a great job, so is Gosh.
I said Barnes, and it was Lutz, and that's the end of 1/4 of play from the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa. The score here is Schleswig 0 and Lone Tree 0.
Hello, I'm Dean Borg. Every Sunday evening at 7, we bring you news, information, and perspective about the world's events that help you understand the importance of the week's headlines. We bring you face-to-face with interesting personalities and policymakers whose decisions affect your daily lives. We help explain Iowa and its relationship with its neighbors. It's all on Iowa Press every Sunday evening at 7, only on Iowa Public Television.
I'm Morgan Halgren. This week on Take One, we'll explore some of the practical and psychological problems of raising twins. We'll also learn of a charitable home that helps ex-convicts get back on their feet and into society, and dig into some of Iowa's archaeological treasures. Watch Take One, Sunday night at 7:30.
You're watching Iowa Public Television.
Well, if ball control is the name of the game, indeed the Schleswig Hawks have had the upper hand on Lone Tree. Lone Tree had its chance to score, but did not. Knocking on the door, and now Schleswig is trying to convert with a 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line. Mike Newell along with Pat Clark and Larry Morgan. Play number 1 in quarter number 2. That's Ken Gardner, quarterback. Rolling left, gonna tuck it in. Nope. And it's short.
That right there, Michael, was the perfect example of the run and shoot. Gardner looks like he's going to keep the football and run with it. All of a sudden, he switches hands, tosses it into the end zone. Unfortunately, the pass wasn't that great, a little bit low, and his receiver could not hang out.
That was Matt Saylor, just a freshman, intended receiver, and Brad Musser put in the blanket on him. It's 2nd. We're back up on that. It is 3rd and 10, the 15-yard line. Gardner has Miller and Gosh in the backfield. The motion, and that's Gladdy. Here's Gardner. Not this time. And you can see that the intended receiver, Fredericks, thought he was interfered with as Phil Forbes got a piece of him going after the ball.
He caught his leg, I think, as he was lunging for the football. I think that he got it just as he touched the football, though. I don't think he has much of an argument there.
And you see Lonnie Powers and his wife, Jackie, yesterday with the delivery. Maybe Papa can relax today, huh? Jackie's watching us this afternoon. We've got the intended field goal coming up here. It's Jeff Good. The line of scrimmage, the 22. And it will be wide. Attempted 32-yard field goal. I said the line of scrimmage, the 22. The placement was at the 22. And you'll see it from the end zone camera. It goes a bit wide.
Just a bit wide, and you can almost expect that. Schleswig, up to today, had attempted only 1 field goal all year long. Good had missed that from about 35 yards. So this was something relatively new to him.
So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. 3rd possession of the ball game. The Lone Tree Lions. This is Count, the quarterback. Dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. That'll be Brian Less working the counter-off tackle. Derek Toit making the stop for Schleswig. So let's see if the Lions can get something going. Pick up about, well, a half a yard, no more, certainly. Just underway in quarter number 2, and Skip Eckert, product of the University of Northern Iowa.
He was a captain here.
Fumbled and falling on it is Bruce Count. He made the right decision. Get your body on top of the ball, and that way he didn't try to make something out of nothing. The loss is 3 yards. Let's take a look.
Here's Count, loses it right on the snap and has the sense to fall right on top of it rather than try to pick it up and run with it. Nice play by Count. He played on the '82 Lone Tree Championship team. Yes, they won this thing back in 1982.
So they are going for their second championship in 3 years. Well, you can hear the pads are popping all the way up here at Pat Clark.
Well, I could even read you a little thing from what Skip Eckert said on his bio about defensive philosophy. He wants a tough, hard-nosed football team. I think they proved it right there.
That was Forbes, and Todd Briggle makes the stop. And on 4th down and 12, we'll have the punt coming here. Bruce Count will release from just shy of the 10-yard line. This will be Gladdy, who falls on it at the 50. And from midfield, good field position, we'll take a look at Schleswig and their 3rd possession of the first half.
Well, Schleswig got started very, very well this season, Mike. In their first 3 games, get this, they outscored their opponents 101-6.
Not bad numbers. Not bad at all. So from the 50-yard line, going high to the left side to the top of your screen is Jeff Good. Jim Fredericks to the right. That's Gardner again over the ball. Motion, Gladdy. Got his man indeed. It's Jim Fredericks. The reception at the 25. He's inside the 20-yard line. Throwing on first down, and Phil Forbes caught up with him.
Fredericks has made a couple of spectacular catches already today. It's almost if Gardner can get it close to me, I'm going to make the catch. Watch this. It's coming right into your living room. Nice catch on the fingertips, and is finally hauled down at about the 18-yard line. Another beautiful play. That's why Schleswig looks so good, and that's why they're here today.
Fredericks to the right. Saylor to the left. 1st and 10, the 18. Second man through, and that's Gosh. He's upended at about the 15-yard line. A pickup of 2.5, maybe 3. And he knew he was hit because that was quarterback Bruce Count who delivered the calling card. The line of scrimmage is the 15. It's 2nd down.
Well, Rodney Gosh doesn't get as much ink as Kip Miller does. He is the 2nd leading rusher on the team. He had almost 700 yards on the ground this year.
Good is to the left. Fredericks to the right. 2nd and 7. Gosh inside the 15 and down to about the 12-yard line. So Kenny Gardner and Skip Eckert are mixing their plays well. That was Neil Forbes with the stop. There's a good look at Rod Gosh. He's not a bad man to have in reserve behind Kip Miller, I'll tell you.
Not at all, especially when Kip only had just less than 800. So they're very, very good to work with in the backfield.
From the eye. Left side, Saylor. Right side, Fredericks. Gardner from behind, he's nailed. Tim Lorak comes in to say hello. And we will have a loss of about 3.5, 4 yards. And it's 4th down.
110 tackles for Timmy this season, and you know why Chuck Shelton and the Drake Bulldogs are taking a good look at him.
Timeout has been called with 8 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in 2nd quarter play. We'll tell you once again that this is the Class A championship game. The Schleswig Hawks into this one at 11-0, and the Lone Tree Lions into this one at 10-1, and there is no score. Iowa Public Television is known for its documentaries, and a very special one aired last night, which looked at the life and work of Waterloo activist Jimmy Porter. All roads lead to Jimmy Porter will be shown again Friday, November 23rd at 6:30 p.m. You meet a man who has devoted his life to integrating the black people into the total framework of Waterloo by means of jobs, education, and political awareness. All roads lead to Jimmy Porter will be shown Friday, November 23rd at 6:30 p.m. right here on Iowa Public Television. And a good look at Skip Eckert. He wants to keep that record spotless in 1984. His Hawks are 11-0.
I don't think he's telling his team to kick the football through the uprights again. In fact, I don't think he wanted to try to kick that field goal there just a few minutes ago. They don't have experience doing that. They're a good passing football team, and you know they're going to go for it here on 4th down and about 8 yards to go.
And here's the guy who's trying to outguess him, Lonnie Powers. for the Lone Tree Lions. So we have 4th down and 8. To the left side is Good. To the right side, Fredericks. 4th and 8. The line of scrimmage is the 16-yard line. Gardner rolls out. And at the 5-yard line, the intended receiver is their bread and butter man on the receiving end, Jim Fredericks. You hear the ooze, perhaps boos.
Oh, watch
Tim
Michael
Stebrel.
for Tim Stebrel. Yeah, he's the defensive back who gets a hand in there to knock the football down. Those calls are so close. You know, a ref probably could have thrown a flag on that if he would have wanted to.
That's what they call the judgment call, and it's the hardest call in all of sports. 16-yard line, they go the other way, right to left in front of us. The Lions from Lone Tree at 10 and 1. And offside, we'll have a procedure penalty right here.
That one's going to go against Lone Tree, too. They had movement on the right side, or I beg your pardon, the left side of the line. And fellows from Schleswig wanted to make sure that the Zebras did not miss that one.
Now, if you are keeping score with
Dead
us.
ball. Illegal procedure, snap fraction. White. 1st down.
Now we'll take a look at the. Well,
Do you see movement, Michael?
I think they were pointing at the center.
Oh, they weren't pointing in a contact lens, I guarantee you.
That's right. It was Joel Yudlik. Hand off into the line, and again, the swarm greets. Well, led by Jamie Brawl, and into the line on the carry is Brian Less.
Phil Forbes he's had a couple of good runs. We remember that one in the first quarter, but for the most part, that Schleswig defense has kind of shut them down. They'll run out of a basic 5-2. They'll shift into a 5-3 sometimes, and we told you that Skip has a lot of pride in his defense.
Lone Tree out of the Southeast Iowa Conference. A good look at Bruce Kaut on 2nd down. He'll set up at the 5. Way up there. And reaching for it, you would have said just barely. That was Phil Forbes coming out of the backfield.
I think the fellows on that Schleswig defense are saying, what in the world happened here? Very seldom will you see Lone Tree go long like that. I don't know if you'll see it much more today. There you can take another look at it. He really let that thing fly. Yes! Over the outstretched hands of Mr. Forbes.
7:36 remaining in first half play. A 0-0 ball game. This is the A championship game, the first of 5 here in Iowa Public. It is 3rd and 15. Delayed is the handoff, and not even back to the line of scrimmage. And I'd say this, that Schleswig came prepared for Mr. Phil Forbes and Mr. Neil Forbes. Dennis Baer making the stop.
And they were certainly prepared for just about anything on that. On 3rd and long, you would, of course, expect them to throw the ball up again, but they read that running play very, very well.
Bruce Kaut will deliver from the end zone. He'll release from about the goal line. Gardner is deep, number 22 for Schleswig, and he is paired with Greg Gladdy. And that'll be Gardner at the 36-yard line. And again, good field position for Schleswig, and you gotta wonder how long Lone Tree can give up this good field position in this ball game with a 0-0 tie here at the Dome.
Absolutely, and I think Mr. Cal might have heard some footsteps. They shot both of their ends in to try to block that punt as he was kicking out of the end zone. I don't know, he didn't get off a very good kick. It's right there on the 35-yard line, very short, and he can't blame the wind.
Gardner on 1st and 10, he delivers to Gosh. Inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line before Scott Lutz brings him down. He gets a pickup of, well, we'll call it 3.5. And it's 2nd down. There's a good look at Rod Gosh. He's a junior, 5'11" and 155. Stacks up in the eye behind Kip Miller. Now he splits left. Gardner over the ball, 2nd down. Motion, that's Gladdy. From the 40-yard line and over the middle. That was Gosh, the intended receiver. Bruce Kaut was right on him, and clearly he was not set up for the reception at that point.
Absolutely. I'm not so sure that Gardner didn't let go of that football just a little bit too early. In fact, I think Gosh turned around and said, oh my goodness, there's a football right there, and he had to look around behind him. By that time, it was too late.
See Kenny Gardner. He's had his share with 10 touchdown passes this year. 6:21 remaining. Second quarter play. This is Gardner. Flips it out. That's Miller. Inside the 30, inside the 25, and to the 20. He's brought down by Phil Forbes on the far sideline, helping him along the way.
Well, a shorter version of the run and shoot here, if you will. Gardner just lofts it up there. I don't think you could call that a screen pass. Didn't have any help out there in front of him. Miller, nice run over to the sideline, picks up another first down.
Brad Musser sends him out of bounds. The guy with the decision to make was tackle Tim Lorak. He didn't know if he should go for Gardner and stick with the receiver. 1st and 10. The pitch out, and it's blocked. Inside the 15. Down to the 11-yard line. Tim Stebro makes the stop, and again, the plays are mixed very, very well for Schleswig.
Here comes Gladdy with the pitch. He takes it from Gardner, looks to go outside. He's going to cut back across the grain here. Does a very good job of it. Picks up probably 7 or 8 more yards, all the way down to the 10.
2nd and 2. The line of scrimmage is the 11. Second man through, and that's Gladdy to the line of scrimmage, +1. He's brought down by Dennis Chabel. And a good look at the cheerleaders on our side of the field, which is the home side, of course, and that'd be Schleswig. Third and about 1.5. Second man through, and he calls again on Greg Gladdy, and it's going to be close. How many are we setting a new interscholastic intercollegiate record for measurements?
You know, one of the great fallacies, Mike, of high school football and football in general, I should say, is the placement of the football. How do the referees really know exactly where to put the football? And it certainly is not their fault. But when you've got a pile of 22 kids and the guy with the football is on the bottom, how do you know where to put it after he gets up?
Well, Jeremy Shanklin made the stop, and he made it short enough, so it's 4th and about 1.5 feet. Here's Schleswig from the 9-yard line. Kip Miller. Touchdown, Schleswig.
No doubt on 4th and short, Lone Tree was looking for the short dive. They took it outside instead, found a great big hole. Miller powers his way into the end zone. Excellent running there, and the defensive secondary said, what in the world happened here?
Jeff Good with the placement here. Gardner is holding. And it is wide. Jeff Good, and it's no good. We've got a 6-0 ball game, and that point hanging on the board that could have been there may loom large in this one. Let's take a look. Some extra effort. Kip Miller.
Miller again going right outside. They opened a great hole for him around the right side at the tackle position, and he managed to power his way in. That was good work. After he got through the line, he did most of that on his own.
He had Bruce Count from the 5-yard line all the way to the goal line trying to wrestle him down. And we've got a 6-0 ball game. 4:09 remaining in second quarter play, and Schleswig draws first blood on Lone Tree in this, the A championship game from the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa. The kick goes wide, and you'll be seeing here in a moment Jeff Good teeing it up at the 40-yard line. Deep to receive, and standing at the 10-yard line for the Lone Tree Lions, Phil Forbes and Brian Less. Less wears number 20. Forbes number 22. You see the drive, Pat Clark, and Miller again. He did it all on his own.
Well, you mentioned before, you wondered how long Lone Tree could keep them from plugging it into the end zone. They finally managed to do it on 4th and short, no less.
Jeff Good is set to tee it up. And letting it rattle into the end zone is Phil Forbes. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. 4th possession of the first half for the Lone Tree Lions. You got some Lion boosters there on the sideline, and we got lots of football coming your way right here on Iowa Public Television.
Well, you can bet, Michael, that Lone Tree is not going to lay down and die. They're certainly not used to that. They have really rolled up points this year. Their only loss during the regular season, by the way, was to Pekin of Packwood at Lone Tree.
Les in the backfield with Forbes. Neil Forbes in the slot. This is Phil Forbes around end on 1st and 10. He picks up 1, maybe 2. He's the bread and butter man, Phil Forbes. Kip Miller brings him down.
Bread and butter man, and he is the game breaker too. He has 18 touchdowns this year. 14 of them have come from runs of 50 yards or more, if you can believe that.
You know, a lot of these kids do double duty. They work both sides of the ball, and you see Kip Miller, who just got done scoring the first touchdown of the 5-game run here on Iowa Public Television. And he also leads the Schleswig Hawks. Imagine 97 tackles. This kid's all over the field.
Scores a touchdown, turns around, come back, make a couple tackles.
The pickup is 2 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 22.
Some excited Schleswig fans. First time to the state finals. They have to be excited about that. You know, last year they only lost 1 football game. That came against Dunlap. They were the 1983 Boyer Valley Conference champs, so winning is certainly nothing new to them.
So 2nd down with 3:54 remaining, and after these two teams traded admirable field position, but actually it worked in Schleswig's favor. Schleswig did convert. Kip Miller battling in from 9 yards out with 4:06 hanging on the clock. The point after attempt was no good. And that's where we stand right now, 6-0. Right to left in front of us now, the Lions from Lone Tree. Both these clubs in their black and gold. Out is the quarterback. That's Bill Forbes. Watch out for the open field. He gets the first down, and that clearly is Lonnie Power's strategy at this point. Greg Gladdy brings him down, but the key is to get this guy in the open field.
Take the second man on the reverse here. This is Forbes with it. You'll see here he was finally pulled down just past the 30-yard line. Had he beaten those two black shirts, he would have been running on a chalkboard all the way to the end zone.
That was Darren Lee from his free safety position. Here's a good look at Mr. Forbes. 1st and 10 from the 32. He gets the call again. Past the 35 and out to the 39-yard line. Kenny Gardner makes the stop. You hear us mentioning the names on both sides of the ball, Pat.
Absolutely. Forbes, Gardner, all of these fellas you'll hear. And one thing about Phil Forbes, I don't know if you folks saw that on the last play, he has a great knowledge of where he is on the football field. He can read defenses as he runs with it. That's why he's the leading rusher in the state.
The pickup is 6, 2nd and 4. Phil Forbes again. He gets the first down to midfield. And again, Lonnie Powers wants to see some open field running. Darren Lee makes the stop on him.
Have a feeling that he dropped a knee at about the 41. I think they're going to bring the old skin back there.
Ouch.
Maybe we'll be able to see it on the play, Michael. Here comes Forbes to the right side. He loses. I think he was tripped, and the knee does go down about the 41-yard line.
And a good call. Very alert call. So it'll be 3rd and just less than 1. The line of scrimmage is the 41. First down, and picking it up is Brian Less off right tackle, getting some help from Jeremy Shanklin and Brian Shingledecker.
Well, Brian didn't have 1,800 yards on the ground, but he was the 2nd leading rusher on the team this year. 419 yards, 99 carries. His nickname, I'm sure you want to know, Michael, Lester.
Couldn't be anything but, right? 1st and 10, the 43-yard line. Battling his way back to the line of scrimmage is Phil Forbes. And you can tell that the Schleswig linebackers are indeed keying on the state's leading ground gainer. But should he get behind those linebackers and get some open field, watch out. Greg Gladdy makes the stop. No gain. Wide to the right side is Tim Stiebrel. Bill Forbes. Stiebrel took it away. Indeed he did. Taking it away. And that is Jim Fredericks. Stebrel in hand-to-hand combat down the far sideline. And it was batted in the air, and clearly Fredericks took it away.
Take a look. Let's see who catches this football. Fredericks going for it. Oh, yep. They took it on the other side. We couldn't see from up here. The ball got away from the other receiver, and Fredericks was there. Hey, he's catching passes for both sides today. Another look at it. And, of course, you see number 16 for Lone Tree, Stebrel, trying to take it away from Fredericks. Didn't work that way.
The 8-yard line, 1st and 10. Gardner dumps it off to Miller, who gets his way past the 10-yard line. And you're right, he's catching footballs on both sides, offensively and defensively. We're talking about Fredericks, of course. Neil Forbes makes the stop on Kip Miller. That's where that tip drill in practice comes in handy.
Absolutely. You see him working on it in pregame even sometimes. Fans saying, what in the world are those guys doing down there?
And it was Stebrel trying to get it away from Fredericks. It's 2nd and 7. Kip Miller again. He gets the call. Enough for the first down past the 20-yard line. Kip Miller. Tim Lorak comes in to make the stop.
Skip Eckhart is really proud of the pass protection of his offensive line, but look at the hole they open up there for Mr. Miller. Takes it on out to the 20-yard line. He's running well on his own today, too, which is certainly an asset.
This series started on the 8-yard line, a pair of carries by Kip Miller, and it's now 1st and 10 just past the 20-yard line. 30 seconds remain in the half. Team with the ball. Schleswig has a 6-0 lead, and this, my friend, is the 5th penalty whistled on Lone Tree in this ball game. Procedure again. Nice to have that anticipation, but when it costs your team 5 yards, you got to answer to the coach for that one.
Absolutely, and it has hurt Lone Tree a couple times. 2 or 3 of those have been
Dead
offsides.
ball. Encroachment, white, first down.
20 seconds and counting. 1st and 5. This is Gardner tucking it in. Mid-air fumble. And guess who's got it? Lone Tree. And there are 10 seconds showing on the clock. Gardner's intention was to run off the clock. Neil Forbes comes up with the football. Here's a look at Forbes in the center of your screen. He's number 34. He'll come up with the football here.
Turnabout's fair play. They get it back. They fight for this one, and Mr. Forbes is the one who ends up on top.
So timeout with 10 seconds remaining in the half, and we'll take a look from this angle. Want to go this way? Now I'm going to go that way, and it actually went behind him. And Neil Forbes.
I'm not so sure that Gardner didn't know what to do with the football after he got it. It almost looked like that might have been a broken play, and he was just scrambling to find some yardage.
That's my vote. I thought first at first look it was just trying to run off the clock. But I think it was a broken play because he went this way and decided to go that way, and it cost him the football. And now from the 24-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10, and Lone Tree will have at least one play into this one.
Well, this could turn out to be a real ouchie for Schleswig if, in fact, the Lions can plug this thing into the end zone. They haven't been able to yet this half. But a mistake like that just before halftime, you know, they've got a 6-0 lead. Nothing better than to go into halftime with any kind of a lead. That could backfire on Schleswig here.
Count is the quarterback. 10 seconds remain. First half play. His ball club is down 6-0. Count will set up at the 30. Long ball. And a bit too long. Intended receiver was Tim Stebrel. And with defensive coverage is Darren Lee from his free safety spot. 4 seconds remain, so they'll get 2 plays out of it, Pat Clark.
With 4 seconds left, you know that the Hawk defense is going to do one thing. That's fall back. They've got to go into the end zone to make anything count here with 4 seconds. This will obviously be the last play of the first half. So they want to get it into the end zone. They got to get the points, so the defensive backs, linebackers will all be going back, and they'll be looking for the fellas in the end zone.
So another timeout on the field, and you see Lonnie Powers amidst his Lions. Powers bringing a 10-1 ball club into this one. rated number 10 in the state of Iowa. Lone Tree out of the Southeast Iowa Conference. And a third appearance for Lone Tree in the state championships.
Coach Powers, a graduate of Central College down in Pella. Didn't play any college sports because he says he just wasn't big enough at 5'10" and 175. That might be a bit small for the Iowa Conference.
Line of scrimmage is the 24-yard line. And we're going to see the attempted field goal here. It'll be Neil Forbes. Placement at the 31. It's a 41-yard field goal attempt. 4 seconds remain. And it's short. And that's the way the half will end. The field goal attempt is short and a bit wide to the right. There's your halftime score. This is the single A championship game. The Schleswig Hawks 6 and the Lone Tree Lions nothing. And a good look from our end zone camera here at the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa. And Pat, all in all, you called it at the outset of this one. This could be a defensive battle. That's exactly what we got at this point.
I think so too, Mike, and I guess I'm trying to figure out why they went for the field goal there as time is running out. Lone Tree has only tried one field goal all year long. They missed it. So why not just try to throw it into the end zone? As far as I'm concerned, they had just as good a chance of scoring a touchdown there as they did of kicking a field goal.
We go down to the field now. Larry Morgan with Skip Eckhart. Larry?
Well, Skip, certainly defensively an outstanding first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got to keep playing tough defense. Our guys have been hitting well. We just got to keep our keys. We got faked out a couple times. We got to keep playing tough. We got to get down here and make opportunities when we have them. We missed a field goal, which we should have had an extra point. We made a bad mistake down there, a fumble when we should have laid on it, but we just got to get things corrected at halftime.
And from an offensive standpoint, not a lot of points, but you moved the ball awfully well.
Yeah, we got to move the ball and put it in. That's more important. It doesn't matter how much you move it. You got to put it in the end zone.
That's Skip Eckhart, whose team leads at the half by a score of back upstairs.
Well, thank you, Larry Morgan. I'm Mike Newell, along with Pat Clark, and at halftime, Cedar Rapids Jefferson to do some entertaining here. Earlier this summer, Iowa Public Television produced a series called The Home Team, which featured Iowans who were Olympic hopefuls. Now there's a break in the action. We will take a break here at halftime. The Schleswig Hawks 6 and the Lone Tree Lions nothing.
It's Schleswig 6, Lone Tree nothing at the half. Lonnie Powers, the coach of Lone Tree, our guest very briefly. First of all, Coach, I know offensively frustration in the first half. What do you have to do to turn that around?
Well, we got to stick our blocks a little bit longer. They've contained Phil Forbes. He's been our offense, and they've also contained Brian Less. And our passes have just been outside the reach of our receivers. I think offensively, we made some adjustments at halftime. We are a pretty good second half ball club, and I think we need to get Phil Forbes broke open for a touchdown or two, and that'll put us back in the game.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
That's Coach Lonnie Powers of Lone Tree. His team trails 6-0 at the half. Let's take it back upstairs.
Well, thank you, Larry, and thank you, Lonnie. And we're just about set for second half action from the Unidome. You see the captains coming out to meet again for this, the second half. And again, we'll tell you it's a 6-0 ball game. Schleswig with the upper hand over Lone Tree, and we'll have the exchange right here. And it's nice that Lonnie Powers could join us for a couple comments right before the start of this one. It's nice that Skip Eckhart could join us at the close of the first half. And these guys got a lot on their mind with that A championship on the line in this one, Pat.
Well, in that interview with Larry, you heard the coach, Lonnie Powers, say that we are a second half football team. You can take a look at their stats, folks, and very indicative. In the third quarter during the regular season, Lone Tree outscored its opponent 55-15. So they are a third quarter team.
And here are the numbers. You see in total yardage, that is, 133 over 67. Schleswig with the upper hand. 9 over 4 in first downs. Again, the Hawks. In rushing yards, pretty even. In passing yards, the Hawks from Schleswig get the edge. Time of possession, surprisingly, pretty much equal.
Yeah, that is kind of unusual. The passing yardage, that's the difference here. Fredericks and Gardner are hooking up for Schleswig, and they're making it work. And I told you before, Lone Tree has only passed 6 times in the first half. They completed only 1. They might have to change the game plan a little bit to put some points on the board here in the second half.
So Schleswig will be on the receiving end. Lone Tree will kick off, and Schleswig will move left to right in front of us. Getting set to tee it up, that is Neil Forbes. For the Lone Tree Lions, the 6-foot senior, 180 pounds. He's a guy who's all over this football field, and in the A category, in the 1A and in the 2A, you see them all. And on the receiving end, that's Greg Glady. Glady will be the center man in kick returns. Kip Miller and Rod Gosh on the flanks. A short kick, it bounces at the 25. It's Glady, the 15, now the 20. To the 25, and he draws some attention there. It's 1st and 10, left to right in front of us. It'll be the Schleswig Hawks.
They've been mixing it up real well here today. We've talked about it. Skip Eckhart from UNI, he played here. He was a captain for the Panthers while he was playing. Spent a year as an assistant coach before he became head coach at Schleswig. He's been there for 3 years now, and he's built a program there.
1st and 10 from the 25, 26-yard line. That's Ken Gardner over the ball. And he goes to Kip Miller. First play of the second half, and he struggles his way for 2, perhaps 3 on 1st and 10.
Lone Tree has really adjusted well, Mike, I think, on defense, because they came into this game expecting Schleswig to throw the ball a lot, and now they're running the ball, so they have to adjust.
You see the starters going for Schleswig in this one. Same starters in the second half that we had in the first. Gardner over the ball. Glady goes to the slot left. Motion Glady. The pitch out comes to Miller. And stopped dead in his tracks. Boy, there's some textbook tackling right there. And the guy to deliver the hurt, it looks from our end, is Dennis Schabel.
Well, the pitch and sweep on that particular play, you'll see the guards pulling, and they get out there just a little bit late. That allows pursuit from Lone Tree, and a nice, good heads-on tackle there by Lone Tree.
That's putting your nose right into it. It is 3rd and 7. Gardner to the left, tucks it in. Past the 30 and out to the 35-yard line, but short of the first down by a yard or so. Neil Ford's making the stop.
Oh, we've got a late flag on the field there too, Mike.
Well, we'll wait for the indication. Personal foul. John Lowry, the referee, and
my only guess there, Mike, would be a late hit. Someone piling on after the play was over, and that is going to hurt Lone Tree. 6 penalties in this game so far. All of them have come against the Lions. Here we see Gardner again, looking to pitch out. He did that well in the first half. Instead, he decides to keep it himself, is brought down about the 35, and there you see it. A little spearing at the 35, and you can't do that in high school football.
So the gain plus 15, and it's 1st and 10 in Lone Tree territory, the 49. Longest gain of the day. And again, the call goes to Kip Miller up the middle. No gain on the play, we'll call it. Perhaps a loss of a half yard. And making the stop was Kevin Dauber. 9:54 remaining in the third. We're just underway with third quarter play. A 6-0 lead. Schleswig with the ball in the lead. Over Lone Tree, the Class A championship game. Motion is Rod Gosh to the left side. A counter handoff, and that was Greg Glady. Past the line of scrimmage. And Dauber again making the stop for Lone Tree, the Lions. There's Lonnie Powers, and he became a Papa yesterday. And again, maybe he's got better things to think about today. You know what was on his mind yesterday?
I think so.
Glad that all is well. This is Gardner on 3rd and 8. He has his man, Rod Gosh, short of the first down at the 45-yard line. The pickup was for Gardner's a big kid. He's at 6 feet and 4 inches tall. He can see over those rushing linemen.
Lone Tree really picked him up well out of the backfield. You can see 2 fellas on top of him right away. And a very, very good tackle on that play by Kaut.
Bruce Kaut. So we have the punt coming here, and it's Gardner. He will release from about the 47-yard line. It'll go out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. It sort of knuckleballed to the near sideline. And first possession of the second half for the Lions of Lone Tree into this one at 10-1.
Wasn't such a bad kick after all. They'll take the ball at about the 16-yard line is where they're going to mark it. That's the first time that Schleswig punted this afternoon.
Lone Tree, by the way, took its only loss of the season in the 5th game of season 84, 21-14 to Pekin Packwood. Out of the huddle, here's Kaut, 1st and 10. Inside is the handoff, and it's Forbes. On 1st and 10, and he got back to the line of scrimmage, but no further. Denny Bear makes the stop. Let's take a look at those lineups. Kaut, Forbes, Les, Forbes again, Stebro, and Chabo. On the line, Shingeldecker, Lutz, Yedlick, Lorak, and Shanklin for Lone Tree. At the 8-minute mark of the 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10. Bill Ford. And he picks up a yard, but no more. Again, the theory would be that Lonnie Powers wants to get this kid in the open because once he's there, he's just about gone. Kip Miller makes a stop.
Absolutely, and Phil and Neil, both of the Forbes boys, must be getting kind of frustrated right now because they're running straight. They're running parallel with the football field. That's not the way they want to do it. They want to turn it up, and so far, Schleswig hasn't really given them a chance to do that.
You see the defensive alignment, that is, for Schleswig, 3rd and about 8.5. Again, the call is to Forbes. He picks up one, but no more around right end. And making the stop for Schleswig is Mark Beek from his linebacking position, paired up there with Kip Miller. Brian Toit also in for the stop. There's a good shot of Bruce Kaut, senior quarterback for these Lions. He will do the punting here. He will release from just about the 10-yard line. Deep to receive for Schleswig. We will have Glady and Gardner. Glady will take it inside the 45. And 1st and 10, 2nd possession for Schleswig in this one.
Oh, Glady wasn't going to take any chances on that one. He had plenty of time to catch the ball and run with it. I think the nearest line was probably 10 yards away. They're being very conservative. They're sitting on a 6-0 lead. They certainly don't want to lose that with a fumble.
You know, we've seen 2 field goal attempts. Here's a look at Dr. Eve. Beckert is the nickname. Gardner on 1st and 10. The handoff up the middle, and I believe it's Gosh past the 45 and to the 46-yard line. He's stopped by Kevin Dauber, but we have seen 2 field goal attempts, one for each team, and that's something highly unusual for both these ball clubs. They've never had the need to kick a field goal.
Quite frankly, I am very surprised. Absolutely, Mike. Both teams attempting field goals, both teams missing.
2nd and 9, the 46. Gardner over the ball. Kip Miller and Rod Gosh. It goes to Gosh. And good pursuit defense. And I'll say this, Lone Tree is playing the ball.
Both teams, I think, are really reading the plays very well, especially for Lone Tree when they can expect either a pass or run, moving with the football very well. And they, of course, have to do that to shut down the Hawks.
Neil Forbes was the first one to him. He, of course, from his running back position, and he plays a whale of a linebacker position. He's the quarterback on defense. 3rd and 7. This is Gardner from the 40. Got him. On his way, Jeff Moore. 53 yards. Take a look.
This is a wide receiver's dream. He's going to get the pass. Timmy Stebro. Watch here as he leaps in front. And look at this. All sorts of green. No one to catch him. And it's all the way into the end zone. A beautiful play.
The attempted point after from the guy who scored. It's good. And this time it is good. And just like that, we've got a 13-0 ball game. Schleswig opens up the lead, and again it was a 53-yard hookup. Gardner to Good. The extra point from Good is good, if you will.
Very good, Mike. Let's take another look at it, this time from the end zone again. Gardner throws it on out. Short little pattern. I don't think they expected a touchdown out of this, but by golly, I'm sure they're going to take it. Steebrel just tried to break the pass up. Unfortunately, he fell down, unfortunately for Lone Tree, and that is the result, folks.
Steebrel committing to the ball, but nobody was behind him to make up for the reception. Jeff Good from Ken Gardner, 53 yards. The extra point is good, and Jeff Good will tee it up right here. Deep to receive. Phil Forbes and Brian Less at the 10-yard line. More of these Schleswig fans light up. Short hop, Neil Forbes at the 31-yard line. He's dragged down inside the 30. Greg Glady makes the stop. And looking 70 yards the other way, you got the Lone Tree Lions. They aren't giving up on the far side, are they?
But Mr. Newell, do you suppose there's any momentum right now?
Yep.
And if there is, which way has it shifted?
Well, with 5:22 remaining in the third, let's see if Lone Tree can get back into this one. The second man through is guess who? It's Phil Forbes. Nope, it isn't. When I say guess who, it's Brian Less who carries for the third time in this game. Glady makes the stop. You see the scoring drive. And it was the bomb that did it. The pickup is 2 yards, and it's second and 8. He draws a lot of attention again, Phil Forbes does.
What they normally do with Phil is run up the middle, although he can take it outside. All he's looking for is a hole, basically. Lone Tree sets up in an unbalanced pro set. They'll throw 2 tackles on one side, of course, thinking better blocking, and they run over that a lot. They've done it this afternoon. Unfortunately for them, not terribly successful.
3rd and 7. And on the receiving end, that's Steebrel. Good enough for the first down, past the 40 to the 43-yard line, and on the move now, the Lone Tree Lions. Jim Fredericks brought him down. Let's take a look.
Well, this might make Timmy feel a little better after that bungled defensive play. Nice catch there. Trying to make amends for that defensive blunder that gave Schleswig another score.
So 1st and 10, and quarterback Bruce Kaut sends Steebrel to the far side. Working out of that unbalanced pro set, and goes to the aerial lanes again, and the knuckleball is short. It'll be 2nd and 10. Steebrel and Forbes on the far sideline.
Count had black shirts on top of him. Of course, a short pass didn't drop back very far. Took a couple steps back, and as he was throwing, he was being hit by some Schleswig Hawks.
So Schleswig making their very first playoff appearance. And Lone Tree in their 3rd appearance, and it's Lone Tree on the short end of a 13-0 score. Kaut pitches back. Will have a penalty. And crossing the 45 and out to the 49-yard line is Phil Forbes before he's brought down by Ken Gardner, but I think you saw the man in motion break forward prior to the snap.
One of the real assets for Schleswig again, as you see Coach Lonnie Powers. He can't be too terribly impressed with the penalties assessed against his team so far this afternoon, and another motion penalty. Schleswig has not had one penalty called against them today, Mike. That's helping them out.
That's how you win football games.
2nd and 15. 2nd and 15 or 3rd and 3? 2nd and 15. Okay.
Give him the extra down, but nailed that yardage on him. This is Jim Lowry, of course. John Lowry of Marion, Iowa.
Illegal motion on the offense. 2nd down.
So with 3:42 remaining in 3rd quarter play, the line of scrimmage now will be the 38-yard line in Lone Tree territory. And Lone Tree has to get into Schleswig territory to the 47 for the first down. 2nd and 15. The counter. That's Neil Forbes. battles his way to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 2.5 perhaps. Greg Glady, who's making his presence felt in this ball game.
Well, the question now, if you are Lonnie Powers, do you start to worry a little bit? You have 3 minutes plus left in the third quarter, another quarter to go, but so far you haven't been able to move the football. Do you start to think about changing your game plan and tossing it up there a little bit?
Well, that's the old theory of the game on the ground establishes the game in the air.
That's right.
Safety blitz from quarterback Ken Gardner. Quarterback meets quarterback, and the loss will put it back at the 33. The line of scrimmage was the 41. The loss of 8 yards.
Well, take a look at this again. Here comes Gardner, untouched. Yes, the Redwood Forest is there. All over Cal. Nice defensive play.
So it'll be 4th down and long. Getting set to punt it away is quarterback Bruce Kaut. He will release from about the 24-yard line. And waving for the fair catch is Greg Glady. And punting it away, and the Schleswig defense rises to the occasion, shutting down Lode Tree. And so now it'll be 1st and 10. Schleswig, the Hawks in control, the line of scrimmage, the 33.
I'm not so sure that these Schleswig punt returners haven't been told to take the fair catch every single time. That time he had 15 or 20 yards. He could have run that football back. Maybe they're being conservative with a 13-zip lead.
Good to the left and Fredericks to the right. The lone back is Miller. In motion is Kosh. And that's Miller. To the line of scrimmage, +1, but certainly no more. And making the stop was Dennis Chabel. There's a good look at Ken Gardner. You see the freshman coming to the lineup. He wears number 10. His name is Matt Saylor, 5'9" and $135. Shuttling into place, he split wide to the left side. To the right is Fredericks. Glady. And on 2nd and 9, he picks up a couple out to the 43-yard line. Kevin Dauber meets him there. Yeah, the shuttling goes between Jeff Good and Matt Saylor, the senior and the freshman, coming in with the plays from Coach Skip Eckhart. 3rd and 6. Gardner from the 30. Same play. They've scored the touchdown just a few moments ago. Jeff Good reaching for it. In defense, Brad Musser. Let's take a look. He pumped once, trying to get the defensive back to commit to the player. There it is.
And then Jeff Good took off, looking for the bomb, and the pass was almost there once again. Reached out of his hands. Great football tradition, or sports tradition, should I say, in that Good family. Jeff's dad is the athletic director at Schleswig, and his brother Greg, assistant at Lake City.
High snap behind Gardner. He runs it down at the 12. On the run, he gets the kickoff, and it's a good one. On the receiving end, that's Phil Ford. Whoa! Talk about turning nothing into something. The high snap, and Gardner ran it down, and on the run, he delivered from about the 12-yard line in a risky play. That was Dennis Bear in pursuit.
Give that fella a break. Gardner showing his all-around athletic ability, chasing that football down. Many players would just try to run with it. Instead, he says, I can get this kickoff. And he does. Nice kick. They got it at the 29-yard line.
Looked like one of those Australian rules football kicks, you know, on the run. The pitch back right side. That's Forbes. Past the 30 on 1st and 10. He picks up a couple. A dangerous play on the bottom line, but it did cover 50 yards. And Phil Forbes, I think, was stunned enough not to run it back. Once it went over the intended punter's head, if you will, that being Ken Gardner, I think the defensive secondary on the receiving end loosened up a little bit. They didn't think a punt was going to be coming. Forbes back to Kaut. He looks upfield. It's too long. And at the end of the quarter, that's the way it will end. Intended receiver was Stebro. of course. And you see the Schleswig fans coming to their feet. And for good reason. We are on to the fourth quarter. Schleswig 13 and Lone Tree nothing.
I'm Morgan Halgren. This week on Take One, we'll explore some of the practical and psychological problems of raising twins. We'll also learn of a charitable home that helps ex-convicts get back on their feet and into society, and dig into some of Iowa's archaeological treasures. Watch Take One, Sunday night at 7:30.
Hello, I'm Dean Borg. At Iowa Public Television, we have a commitment to quality. You saw it during Campaign 84. Live via satellite, we brought you the final face-off between Tom Harkin and Roger Jepson in their battle for the U.S. Senate. We went to the field all across the state and showed you firsthand the campaigns for the Congress. And on election night, we told you who won. We gave you information you can use, part of our consistent commitment to quality at Iowa Public Television.
13-0 is the count. This is the A championship game from the Unidome in Cedar Falls, and it's getting noisy. No keeping those Schleswig Hawk fans down. There's Skip Eckhart. He's looking up at 12 minutes hanging on that board.
Those could be the longest 12 minutes of his entire life, too.
Steebrel wide to the left. It'll be 3rd and 8. This is Count dropping back to pass. Connection. Steebrel at the 42-yard line. He is rattled back inside the 40, and let's see where his forward progress is marked. Rod Gosh brings him down. Let's take a look here, Pat Clark.
Well, we're going to see a lot more of this here in the fourth quarter. They got to get points on the board and points on the board quick. Steebrel coming back to catch that one. Did a nice job and catches the ball good enough for the first down.
Indeed it is. So the ball is marked at the 40-yard line. Just shy of it. In Lone Tree territory, Lone Tree about 60 yards away of making a football game out of this one. Just underway in the 4th. 1st and 10. They had that one read, didn't they? Phil Forbes is shut down before he gets to the line of scrimmage. Mark Beek meets him there along with Brian Toit.
You know, that bad snap could loom very big in this football game too, Mike. I'll tell you what, Mr. Gardner did a great job, Kenny Gardner, getting back and getting that kick off, or else Lone Tree could have had it down at about the 10-yard line. I'm sure that Mr. Gardner is saying a few words to his center, and the center isn't getting chewed out so much.
2nd and 11. Second man through the hole. That's Brian Less, and he is stopped dead in his tracks after the loss of one, perhaps a loss of another one on 2nd and 11. To refresh your memory, it was a 6-0 halftime score after a 0-0 one-quarter score. Schleswig scoring on the legs of Kip Miller, who went in from 9 yards out. That with 4:09 remaining in the second. In the 3rd quarter, Ken Gardner to Jeff Good, 53 yards the connection. Jeff Good with the extra point, and that's where we are. 13-0 Schleswig. Here's Lone Tree. Interception. That'll be Gosh bringing it in. I said Gosh, and it's Glady. Glady brings it in. And this turnover may be what they call one of the major turnovers in this ball game.
Might be some Hawks down on the field spelling a championship trophy here. Let's take a look at it again. Count is going to underthrow his receiver here. Just can't get enough on it, and Glady played it very well. It was almost like he was running the pattern.
So it'll be 1st and 10, and here's Schleswig from the 49-yard line. That's Kip Miller. Inside the 40 and enough for the first down on 1st and 10. The fullback is finally stopped by Dennis Chabel, and he found the hole.
Well, they parted the Red Sea for him here. Look at that room. A room like that, it's easy to be a good football player and an excellent rusher.
Even you and I could get through a hole like that, couldn't we? That kind of blocking up front. There you see the total yardage situation. Again, it's Miller on 1st and 10. And the clock ticking away at 9:50 remaining in the 4th and final period. Neil Forbes with the stop on Miller. And the ball will be spotted at the 37-yard line. Second and 9. Miller for the third straight time. He gets to the 35 and he's stacked up there. Neil Forbes again, the middle linebacker, who is slow to get up. And I would be too, the way he's been all over this field. What a ball game he has played. Neil Forbes.
You know, you can think of another fallacy here too, Mike. Everyone thinks that the kids in the larger class schools are the better athletes. You got kids in 1A, 2A, Class A going both ways. They're out there all the time.
3rd and 5 after the pickup of 2. Lone Tree recovers. And the turnover here. These two teams trading turnovers. Jeremy Shanklin came up with the fumble, the exchange, and you'll see Gardner lose the handle.
I think he ran into the fella he was faking the football to. The football rubbed up against him. Gardner lost the handle on it. Shanklin recovers, and now Lone Tree has to capitalize. They can't wait around any longer.
1st and 10, and on the counter, guess who? Phil Forbes up to midfield and in a bit. A 13-yard gain for Phil Forbes. Garrett Lee makes the stop, and this is what we're talking about. Should this guy get an open field, he is difficult to stop. Look at him change direction.
Phil Forbes gets to stretch his legs a little bit. Hasn't had any room like that since early on in the very first quarter. Nice gain of 13 yards, and they're trying to get the crowd behind him over there. That's certainly all important here in this championship game.
Well, line of scrimmage will be the 47 on 1st and 10 in Schleswig territory. This is Lone Tree.
Like Mr. Shingledecker might have been a bit shaken up on that last play.
Brad Shingledecker, starting tackle. He's at 6 feet even and 190, a senior. He's made some contributions in this game, and I got a hunch he'll be back.
Probably next play.
Dennis Wormer coming in to spell him for a bit. 8:25 remaining in the 4th. We got another one coming up. Center Point in Pocahontas. Class 1A championship game. Right now, 1st and 10. Forbes around end. He picks up 1 and no more.
I'll tell you that.
Turn the corners.
They can't do that. Gardner is shutting them off there. He's coming up. He's had a great quarterback sack. He's stopping Forbes from getting outside.
Well, the pickup is 1 yard. It'll be 2nd and 9, and Shingledecker is back in the ball game. Let's see if Lone Tree can get something going. The counter play again. And inside the 45 to the 43, it is Phil Forbes once again. Kip Miller making the stop. Yep, they can smell victory on the sideline. The Schleswig backers, you saw the Lone Tree cheerleaders just a moment ago.
There's a big difference. 132 yards in the air for Schleswig, just 32 for Lone Tree.
That's Neil Forbes, the counter handoff again, and he's dragged down in the backfield. The loss will be 3 yards. Dennis Bear makes the stop. It was 3rd and 5. It'll now be 4th down and about 8.
Hawks have literally put a cork in the line of scrimmage. I'm telling you, it has just been virtually impossible for Lone Tree to get any yardage here. Aside from that nice run by Forbes just a few minutes ago, they haven't been able to do much at all.
Line of scrimmage is the 45. Kaut will go to the air lanes and 4th down. To the flat, he's got his man. Phil Forbes is upended at the 41, short of the 1st down. And Schleswig will take it over on downs. Lance Clausen upended him after the reception. Again, the swing pass.
Lance may never know how important that tackle was. A few more yards, he would have had a 1st down, and they would have maintained their drive. Watch this tackle. He undercuts him here. Look at that. Up and over, and he's about a yard short of the 1st down, so they're going to move the ball the other way.
And young Phil Forbes, just a junior, is going to know he's been in a football game today because this kid has taken some shots. 13-0 with the lead and with the ball. That's Schleswig. That's Gardner over the ball. 1st and 10, the 41. trying to turn the corner. He loses about a yard to the far sideline. Sending him out of bounds, helping him on his way is Neil Forbes on the 1st and 10. You know, Schleswig into this one is averaging 8.8 points defensively, meaning they have given up 8.8 points. You see the rushing yardage for the season, and they have had 3 shutouts this year. They are going for a 4th right now, 2nd and 11. First man through, and that's Miller, Kip Miller. Brought down by Scotty Lutz. Picked up a couple. It'll be 3rd and about 8.5, maybe 9.
Well, you'd think, Michael, that the strategy now would be to keep the ball on the ground if they can. We have about 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in this championship game. Get the first downs, keep the clock running, stay inbounds, don't go out of bounds, keep the seconds ticking.
And from the 43-yard line, it's 3rd and 8. 5:35 remaining in the ball game. That's Miller. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Those shutouts, by the way, Scotty Lutz making the stop, came against Lake City in the season's opener, 21-0, and up against Mondayman West Harrison, 26-0, the second game of the season. Then in the first game of the playoffs, a concerned Lonnie Powers. But Schleswig posted the shutout 33-zip on Wall Lake. This is Gardner to release from about the 38. Short kick, which angles out of bounds. Not all that far upfield. Gardner took a 1-step address into the ball. He sensed the rush after the ball knuckleballed to him, and he fielded it like a shortstop.
Well, here we go again. You're right, Mike. Just 1 step. He shanked it off the side of his foot, and look at that. He knows it. Thing goes right out of bounds. He didn't have a very good snap for the second consecutive punt. I think that probably bothered him just a skosh.
Well, I'll say also that his luck may be running out, too. He's had 2 on bad snap. This is Kaut on 1st and 10. He stopped at the 36-yard line. That's Brian Toit in pursuit. And here's a guy who can smell it. That is Skip Eckert.
Well, Don Meredith, I don't know whether he'd start singing his song right now, but things are looking pretty bad for Lone Tree. You can see Couch just can't get outside, has to tuck it under and swallow it.
Nothing around end today for Lone Tree. They have contained, Schleswig has, the Lone Tree offense to step up the middle. 4:20 remaining. It is 2nd and a bunch. Out from the 25 to the flat. He's got his man Ford. Past the 35 to the 37 to the original line of scrimmage. Mark Feet makes the stop.
Well, you got to kind of wonder whether this was the primary receiver. Almost looks like an outlet pass. It couldn't have been a screenplay because he didn't have any blocking in front of him, and Schleswig read it very well.
Kaut was counting on a stiff pursuit that time. He did indeed get that, and he went to the outlet man. Ends up no gain. 3rd down and 16. Kaut tucks it in. He picks up 3.5, maybe 4, before he's thundered down by a guy by the name of Kenny Gardner.
And we've heard that name before today, haven't we?
Yeah, as quarterback meets quarterback. It'll be the 43-yard line, so the pickup is 3. It'll be 4th and 14, and what do you do with 3:15 remaining? I think you go for it, do you not?
I think so. I think so. Let's take a look at Kaut, Neil Forbes, Phil Forbes. All of these fellas are playing on the basketball team. They're all starters. Lone Tree is ranked tops in Class 1A.
Here's Kaut on 4th down, and he is smothered under. Yep, they can smell it. Jamie Brawl brings it in, and the Schleswig Hawks are just 2:55 away from the A championship. Let's look at it.
Take a look at this pursuit on the defense. They're just swarming all over them, and I think they're past smelling it. I think they're starting to swim in a victory.
Jamie Brawl and Brandon Wigg doing a little Mark Gastineau after that one. Gardner is your quarterback, 1st and 10, the 34-yard line. And we get another procedure encroachment call on Lone Tree. It's not been Lone Tree's day as far as the guy in the striped shirt is concerned.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but has this not been a penalty-free game for Schleswig?
Yes, it has. And you see the walk-off, so it'll be 1st and 5 from the 34-yard line.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense.
High to the right side is Fredericks. Sailor to the left. Oh, sneakeroo, and maybe enough for the first down. Gardner has to command some authority with his size. He's 6'4" and 195, the senior quarterback. He's brought down by perhaps 7/11 of the Lone Tree defenders.
Well, Gardner's an outstanding all-around athlete. Football, basketball, baseball, track. He competes in them all.
Yep, basketball practice Monday afternoon. 1:55 remains. Keeper again, enough for the first down and 2nd and 1. It's inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. Dennis Homer gets credit. You see a dejected Lonnie Powers.
Boy, it's tough to lose in the state final, but Lone Tree can't be dipping its head at anything. They played an outstanding football season. Aside from that loss against Beacon of Packwood, they really dominated each and every one of their opponents. And as we mentioned before, they're going to be around in basketball, a team to be reckoned with.
1st and 10 to 23. And he falls on the football at the 27-yard line. And we're just seconds away. As a matter of fact, 70 seconds away from putting the lid on this one. The first of 5 football games here on Iowa Public Television, the State of Iowa Championships in 1984.
Well, do you suppose there'll be some hooting and hollering in the town of 868 tonight?
They'll be dancing in the streets of Schleswig tonight. I think everybody's here.
You see, they have some interesting-looking inhabitants of Schleswig, too.
With 45 seconds remaining, 2nd and 13, and the whistle there will have a delay of game as they want to take as much off of the clock, Schleswig, of course. And, you know, you got to give Lone Tree some credit. This has been a rugged ball club through the year, but I think even more credit goes to this Schleswig team. After playing a game Monday afternoon, coming back on Friday, Monday afternoon, Schleswig winning in 3 overtimes, 21-20. Those are some numbers on Kenny Gardner.
122 yards through the air for Gardner today. An excellent day.
2nd and way long, and we'll have another whistle here. There's the numbers. And we'll mention that coming up, we've got center point against Pocahontas. Yep, there he is, about to grab the title in his first appearance in state competition. This is Dr. E. Skip Eckert. And those are the numbers. 13-0. It was 6-0 at the half, 13-0 at the quarter break, 3 quarters. That's where we are here in the closing moments.
False start on the black.
False start on the black. I don't understand that. How would the mark-off go the other way?
Well, Jamie Brawl.
A dead ball foul. Personal foul, white.
There you go.
2nd down.
Now, you might remember Jamie Brawl really took a hit after the whistle and the flag. He was knocked on his haunches.
2nd and 8 to 21 with 41 seconds remaining. Schleswig with the lead on the ball. Trying to take some air out of the ball right here. Gardner the sneak inside the 20. You bet you are. On the sideline there for Schleswig. It'll be 3rd down and 5. 10 seconds and counting. Celebration. It's 13-0. The Hawks from Schleswig complete an unbeaten season. Schleswig goes to 12-0, and they leave the Dome in Cedar Falls with the A championship. And the dejected boosters on the far sideline, the Lone Tree squad, and an admirable performance. They will close the season, Lone Tree will, with 10 victories and 2 losses, and our congratulations to Schleswig, the Hawks, the winners in this one.
And of course, the folks over on the Lone Tree side will all be cheering in just a few minutes during the awards ceremony. They have certainly nothing to be ashamed of. Schleswig, 3 years ago when Skip Eckhart took over, he said, this is our goal, to get to the state tournament. By golly, he did it one better. He won the thing.
We've got some presentations coming up down in the field. Mo Kelly, of course, will be passing out the hardware. And again, our congratulations to Coach Skip Eckhart and the Schleswig Hawks. Getting kind of busy down there on the field, and indeed you are number 1. You have claimed the A championship, the Hawk fans. They came prepared, and they shut down a pretty potent Lone Tree offense. 4th shutout of the year for Schleswig. Let's go down in the field, and here's Morris Kelly.
Thank you very much, Bob. To present the awards to these fine Class A championship teams, we have 4 members of the Iowa High School Athletic Association Board of Control. To my immediate left is Keith O'Connell, Superintendent of Schools at Jackson Junction, Turkey Valley. Next to Keith is the current chairman of the board, Jack Honshell, Superintendent of Schools at Centerville. Next is Dr. Ted Runyon, Superintendent of Schools at Britt. And to my far left is John Gannon, the Superintendent of Schools at Emmitsburg. A great season in all classes of competition, particularly in Class A. If you'll note, all during the playoff series, a number of close contests, and we congratulate all of the teams that were involved in that particular class. Turning our attention to the 1984 runner-up, can we say this? Keep in mind, 430 Iowa high schools play football. Only about 180 have ever been in a playoff game. Here is a team that has been in the playoffs twice now. Both times they have been in the championship game. They were the champions a couple of years ago. How about a great hand for a fine group from Lone Tree, the Lions, and Coach Lonnie Bars. Repeating 180 schools out of 430 that have ever been in the playoffs, and our champions for the first time ever in the playoffs go all the way, the champions in Class A. Here they are. Congratulations to them. Schleswig, the Hawks, and Coach Skip Eckhart.
So the hardware goes on the mantle in Schleswig, Iowa. Their first appearance ever in state playoff competition, and coming away with their first #1 finish, the Schleswig Hawks. You see Skip Eckhart down there on the sideline commiserating with his ball players and coaching staff. He's got a smile on his face.
Well, this was the Super Bowl of high school football for them. And I'd say that with the limited amount of time that he and his team had to prepare for this one, Mike, they did a pretty darn good job. You mentioned before, they played Monday and had to play again on Friday afternoon, winning 13-0. Excellent game for them.
Population of 868 in the town of Schleswig, and there's Skip Eckhart up on his shoulders. And congratulations to the Hawks and their supporters who complete this season with 12 victories, no losses, and by the way, with 4 shutout performances, including this, a 13-0 championship victory over Lone Tree.
Well, it wouldn't be too terribly difficult to divvy out MVP performances or MVP awards for Schleswig. Their entire defense did an excellent job today. You have to take a look at Kenny Gardner, an excellent job at quarterback. He played defensive end ball for them. And I'd say that with the limited amount of time that he and his team had to prepare for this one, Mike, they did a pretty darn good job. You mentioned before, they played Monday and had to play again on Friday afternoon, winning 13-0. Excellent game for them.
Population of 868 in the town of Schleswig, and there's Skip Eckhart up on his shoulders. And congratulations to the Hawks and their supporters who complete this season with 12 victories, no losses, and by the way, with 4 shutout performances, including this, a 13-0 championship victory over Lone Tree.